I hope my screen is visible. Hope my screen is visible. Can anybody just confirm the same?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am.
I'll get Palak from somewhere.
Good morning, everyone.
Good
Good
morning,
morning,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Very good morning, ma'am.
Mama, what did you do?
Good morning, Nitin sir.
Good morning, madam. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure, sir.
Uh, Yes. So I think no, there's a lot
So
of
I'll stop.
discussion going on. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I'll stop sharing my screen and
Okay.
you can just share it
Yes, yes,
for
I'll
a
share so that
second. Yeah,
we
yeah, we
also
can just see. Yeah,
check.
then sir, you can stop sharing. We will formally,
Okay.
welcome and introduce you. Then, sir, I'll stop sharing. You can start sharing that.
Okay. Okay.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, ma'am. Yes, sir,
Is
we
it?
can see. Yes, sir. You can change one slide, sir. Yes, sir. It's working perfectly fine.
Thank you so much, madam. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So I have stopped sharing.
Yes, sir. I hope my screen is visible to all.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. 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 We'll start, sir, sharp at around 10:30, 1:32. Our other participants are still joining.
Sure, sure, sure.
Yes, sir.
But there was
Okay. Vinita ma'am, you have asked for a model question paper for the quiz. We will be having, ma'am, demo today to feel the platform, not the actual questions or anything, ma'am.
Ma'am, when I tried to check that auto procasting,
Hmm.
it was asked to share the screen. There are three options.
Ma'am,
Share the
yes,
window.
we have sent a mail today and I announced also yesterday. We have to click on share entire screen.
Yes, ma'am. I tried to click on entire screen, but that share option was inactive.
Ma'am, when you click, you have to go to entire screen, then click on that window. Then
Okay,
only the
okay.
share will get enabled.
Okay, ma'am. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll try.
the
Yeah.
screen which is there, click on it, right? And then the share will get enabled.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I will try.
Yeah, you can try, ma'am. And as requested by some of the participants yesterday for appearing on 13th and 14th of May. So as we informed that we will be, discussing it with GAD TLC. So they were kind enough to give the flexible time also. So the test would be enabled on this 13th and 14th of May as well as 20th and 21st of May. So out of these 4 days, participants can, choose any of their preferred day and time to give the test. But yes, the test can be given only once. And once you log in, once you start test, it has to be completed within 40 minutes. So we have sent that mail also to y'all. So 4 days are given to y'all. When I say it is 2 weekends. So 4 days are given, either of the one day at the preferred time, you can give the test. Yes, ma'am. Vaishali ma'am, I'll repeat it again once all the participants join at 10:30. Probably I'll repeat again. Okay, good morning all. This is just to inform you all. Yesterday we have shared with you all the recording and the PPT of the sessions which took place yesterday. So we are able to share with you all the PPT and resource material provided the resource persons speakers are permitting to us and sharing with us. Otherwise, they have advised to go through the recordings. Even the assignment recording, quiz instructions recordings, we have shared with all the participants. Also, yesterday evening, we have mailed the payment receipt to all the participants. So they can download it against their name. The receipt number is being put so they can download it and they can take a printout of it. And for their record purpose, they can use it. Further, as one of the participant yesterday requested to enable the test on this weekend if possible. So GAD TLC was kind enough to give that flexibility as well. So we have sent a revised mail today morning, which indicates the test would be enabled on 13th and 14th May. 13th May from 8 a.m. with it starts, and on 14th May till the night 12 o'clock it will remain active, post which it will get deactivated, and again on 20th of May at 8 a.m. it gets enabled and will remain active till 21st of May, that is again till 12 o'clock. So out of these 4 days, participants have flexibility to choose either of the one day as per their convenient time to appear for the test. And today at 3 p.m., we are going to take the demo of the quiz, which will not be related to any of the topics which took place till date in our this 1 week FDP. It will have the questions which you might not be familiar. It is just taken to get a feel of the software which we will be using to take your test to appear for the quiz. With this note, I welcome everyone on day 5 of this 1 week FDP program. It's my proud and privilege to welcome our today's speaker resource person, Dr. Nitin Joshi. Dr. Nitin Joshi is currently working as a director with Dr. V. N. Bedekar Institute of Management Studies, Thane. He has over 25 years of rich and varied experience in sales and marketing with industry leaders like Multi Commodity Exchange of India, MCX, Data Pro Information Technology Limited, DITL, and ATCO Products Limited at various positions. His core areas of interest are sales trainings and grooming management students in the operations and marketing specialization. He is also a professional trainer and marketing consultant with special focus on sales. He is master in engineering with honors and has completed PhD in understanding green consumer behavior. He is certified business excellence assessor for EFQM model. His leadership qualities and mentoring skills are exemplary. He has been offering consulting services to both domestic and international organizations in the areas of business process improvement and sales force management. He has authored many research papers and articles. On behalf of St. Francis Institute of Management and Research, we welcome you, sir, and we thank you for accepting our invitation to deliver your session today on question paper preparation, assessment, and attainment in OBE perspective. We welcome you, sir. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nikita. No, I think probably you are already over exaggerated my introduction.
No, sir,
I'm a
I
simple.
read it short because the list is
Yeah.
so long, sir.
Yes, yes,
So
yes, yes. No,
yes,
no, no.
yeah.
I'm a
Ulte,
teacher
I
like.
should say sorry that I
No, no,
have,
no, 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 no.
made
No,
it short. Yes.
no, no, no. Perfectly fine. I'm a simple teacher and part of all of us. And it gives me pleasure to be sharing whatever little experience I have in the area of academics. Uh, and first of all, let me thank the top management of St. Francis Institute of Management, no, which thought of giving me this opportunity. Especially thanks to brother and then director of your institution, Ramesh sir, and of course you. So we all know each other pretty well, and being here on this kind of platform where we talk about uh, creating value for the society, creating value for the academicians. I think it is a wonderful initiative which St. Francis Institute has taken, and I'm extremely happy that I'm part of it. And let me share with you that I'm also as new in the journey as all of us, and whatever I have learned and I have picked up from my experiences, I'm going to share. Knowledge is something which is, it is like an ocean. So we all continuously learn. So I'm here to learn from all of you in the journey. Yeah. So with this, I will share my PPTs and then probably we'll take the sessions on. Yeah. Can you see can all of you see the screen?
Yes, sir, we can.
Yeah. So as
Yeah,
the top,
Ramesh, sir, just sorry.
yeah,
Ramesh, sir, you
yeah,
have raised your hand.
yes, yes.
We
No, no, no,
welcome
no, no,
Ramesh.
no, 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 no. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning, Nitin sir. Good morning.
Good morning,
Thank you.
good morning, sir. Good morning.
Yeah.
So nice of you. I'm
Yes.
motivated now.
All the best. Okay, sir.
Yeah,
Please proceed.
yeah. Just a minute. So the today's topic is going to be more on question paper preparation in line with the OBE framework. So when we talk about question paper preparation, what I'm going to cover and how I'm going to cover, I'll just share with you so that. Yeah. So the overview of my presentation includes abbreviations, some of the abbreviations which I'm going to use. Purpose of setting QP in OBE mode, about quality, about OBE framework, which is linked with the PDCA model. Then teaching learning plan, which is linked with QP. QP means question paper. Quality of students, Bloom's taxonomy in line with QP. I'll be touching everything in line with question paper. So though some of the words are very much familiar to you and all of you are already undergoing a lot of Bloom's taxonomy word and outcome based education, I'm sure, but I'll ensure that nothing is repeat. Course outcome and Bloom's taxonomy cover questions coverage, cognitive level of thinking classifications, steps involved in the setting a question paper and questions at different levels and current challenges which we are facing. So these are some of the important issues which I thought I need to share with everybody. And I wish that everybody means who is there as a teacher in terms of creating question paper should be taking home something and should be creating some meaningful question paper from the next semester or the coming semester. So some of the abbreviations which I may use is QP, which is question paper, OB is outcome based education, CET is common entrance test, CAT is common admission test, CO could be course outcome, MCQ is multiple choice questions. So these are some of the abbreviations which may keep on coming on my slides, and therefore I thought I'll just clarify. So purpose of setting question paper in an OBE mode, I think first and foremost is we need to be very clear about what is the purpose of setting question paper. See what we have seen in the past that, and I will be very happy to share that I have set at least 6 to 7 time question paper with Dr. Ramesh, right, Ramesh sir? So we know that we have been
Yes, sir.
setting
Yes,
question.
sir. Yeah.
We have been setting question paper for the students, but they are more from the evaluation perspective and not from the assessment perspective. And I'll clarify both the things. But this OB is giving us a lot of clarity in terms of helping the students learn. And it is focusing on the continuous journey of improvement. So I think that is the beauty of OB model. And that is the beauty of assessment, though there is an evaluation, of course, in our system as well. So first and foremost, the purpose lies in being student centric. So the approach, our approach should be student centric approach. When I talk about student centric approach, I'm not saying the question paper should be easy. I'm saying that question paper should be in line with the professional development of the student because we are talking about MMS course or MBA course. So it has to be in line with the course objective or the program objective. So since the teachers are going to focus on course, my focus is going to be on course objective more, and ultimately it should be in line with the program outcome or the program objective. Second is it should help identifying learners' need and aligning with the COs of the course. So there is definitely learners' need. So some learners could be challenged in some area, some learners could be challenged in another area. And the question should definitely align with the course outcomes of a course. So how we are means I'm sure yesterday's I think you have already gone into the attainments and all, but this course outcomes have to be very, very clearly defined, and they have to be displayed both in your TLP and question paper if possible. Then tracking learners' progress. So when we talk about our formative assessment, it should be focusing on learners' progress based on desired learning outcomes. And it should help learners understand their strengths and areas of improvement. So what is the area which they are, means if they score good, we can identify that these are their strengths, and wherever there is an opportunity of improvement, probably we can help them. And then judging the effectiveness of our teaching learning process. So there is a lot of teaching learning process, pedagogies, role plays, case studies and all. But how effective are we as a teacher? This has to be judged through our paper. Because I can feel, means as a business excellence assessor, I can only tell you that this question paper is a sort of quality assurance test for our processes. If the students are really doing good, and if they are getting placed, and even if the survey coming in from the employees is good, then we can say that our quality assurance system is pretty good. So approach to motivate both learners and teachers. I can tell you, if you are enjoying the process of helping the students, developing the students, and then this is setting a question paper is an extremely motivating scenario, because what is there, what is the quality of the students, what you have taught, and then how are you going to set the paper. So these are the broad objectives or purpose for today's topic. And one and most important thing is quality of question paper also talks a lot about the teacher and the institute. So because in the NBA audits and all that, they definitely check the question papers, and quality is what I feel, and Aristotle has also said it is not an act, it is a habit. So it has to be demonstrated at every level, be it your summative type of question papers or formative type of assessment. We need to demonstrate quality in every level. Quality is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, intelligent direction, and skillful execution. It represents the wise choice of many alternatives, as suggested by William A. Foster. So we need to be, see, there are we are flooded with content, from what to cover, what not to cover. But our focus should be, how do we, with our wisdom, how do we choose those areas in our content which are in line with the COs, and how are they relevant in the marketplace? If we are just testing their very fact-based knowledge, then probably no, there is a need to correct ourselves. So where I am focusing on today is the framework, because our framework has to be following a PDCA model. And I'm sure everybody is aware of this model, which focuses on plan, do, check, and act. So when we talk about planning, we should be very clear that our programs have to be outcome driven, and including our vision and all. And definitely the course outcomes and program outcomes. So I'm not getting into vision at all, but I'm focusing that they have to be focused on our course outcome. Finally, all this will happen only if we get into the act mode. So action mode will get into our teaching learning systems, which is talking about our TLP. So TLP is nothing but teaching learning plan. So I always believe that the better time, or the more time you invest into your planning, your outcomes are going to be much better. So how are you going to teach? From where are you going to teach? What are the learning pedagogies, learning methods, learning activities, learning engagements for the students, and the learning outcomes? All those have to be planned and done properly in your teaching learning process. And today's focus area is our assessment and evaluation. It could be an institution, program, or course-based scenario. And after this, there is always a scope of improvement. So if things are on the line, you may carry on with the system. But as you all know, that the journey always has to be on the roadmap of improvement and continuous improvement. So we need to understand the gaps in our processes and then get into the cycle again. So this is the large OBE framework, which we need to be very clear about it in our mind. And I'm sure with the session which are started on 6th and it is going to continue to 12th, all of us will be very, very clear about this OBE model. So when we talk about our TLP, because the journey of academic starts with our TLP here when we talk about question paper setting. So when we talk about TLP, I need to be very clear. What do I want students to learn? It is not important what do I want to teach. What do I want students to learn? What teaching and learning activities will I use? And how will I check for their understanding? Have they understood something or no? So for that, you need to have a very vigorous planning before conducting a course and ensure that TLP is designed with a student-centric mindset, making learning and preparation for the sessions easier. Now, when I'm saying this, I'm saying that when you prepare a TLP, please ensure that if the topic is, say, example, product life cycle. So you are going to teach product life cycle from which book, from which page of the book, and probably if you are going to teach from, say, some web link and all. So please share all that, because let the student come prepared in the class. And since it is a postgraduate program, it has to be more of discussion based learning rather than lecture based teaching. So for that, a good TLP helps. I'm telling you, when we started this concept in our own institution, everybody was saying that students are not interested in seeing the TLP. Nobody reads the TLP. But I am telling you, around 5 to 10% of the students are definitely interested in what is TLP and what is the session plan, and from where are we going to teach, and how well can they come to the class prepared. So it will spread over a period of time. It is not that you do something and it will have a big effect immediately. Then designed to cover all the topics. We need to ensure that in our TLP, all the topics are covered. Why I'm saying is because you have to cover to it while preparing the question paper. You have to see that all your topics are also covered in the question paper. Share pedagogical tools such as case studies and whatnot in terms of role plays and lectures, and also share with them the assessment tools. How are you going to assess them? This you need to share with them in the beginning of the course only, so that they are very clear that how they need to prepare themselves. And TLP should be some standard format, and they should be submitted before beginning of the course. They should be submitted to the institution or we have a concept called ADC, which is Academic Deliverable Cell. So they submit it to the ADC, and this ADC will circulate it to all the students, so that all the students are having the TLP before the course begins. So I'll share with you the template also. Now this template for you may not be very visible, but I'm telling you it should have something called course outcome. On to your left, probably you see program outcomes and course outcome. So program outcome has to be there so that we are very clear that how my course outcomes are linked with program outcomes. So you should have course outcomes on the TLP. Then you can see on the second area that it should refer to the textbooks. So how many textbooks are you referring, and how many reference books are you referring in the system? So let the students be very clear about it, so that, and you should also be very clear that whatever textbooks and reference books you are sharing with them, they should be available in your library. And then comes your plan. So when you talk about your plan, you say session number 1, what is your plan date? What is the topic you are going to cover? What is your study or reference material? And what is the course outcome which you are going to focus on? So if this is clear, then most of the things means why should I come to the class? So I know that the course outcome of this class is this, and therefore I should focus everything, and all my teaching and learning processes should be focusing on the course outcome. Next comes your practical approach. So your pedagogy. So pedagogy could be case based. So for this topic, which case, academic projects, some group discussion, role plays. So what is your pedagogy? If you can make it clear, that helps the student, and it also helps you to plan things better in advance. Then pedagogical approach, initiative. If there is an initiative in terms of, see, we are expecting that everybody asks what is the kind of innovative pedagogy you are adopting. So if you are taking any new initiative based on your learnings from the YouTube, learnings from some newspapers or no, if you attend some conference and if you learn something and if you feel that this is something new you are going to use, so please mention that, because this also helps during the NB accreditation, because they ask that what are the innovative pedagogies you are adopting. Next is your industrial sectors which you are focusing. Say example, if I'm teaching service operations management, then there is no point in I focusing on manufacturing area, because I'm talking about service operations management. So all my examples should be coming in from sectors like airline sector, banking sector, or courier and warehousing sector, logistics sector, supply chain sector. So all this should be my focus area, because whatever I'm doing, I'm going to focus something on types of jobs which are available in that sector. And I should also know some of the competencies which are required to be part to for that kind of jobs. And if there is a gap, so we receive a university syllabus. So if there is a gap which you feel is you have identified, probably you can have identification from your surveys, or you can have some academic body, academic council, or some advisory body which can help you in identifying the gaps, and you can take care of those gaps. And then rest is fine. But when you talk about section 4, you can see that the last portion, which is evaluation. So how are you evaluating? So I'm sharing that, suppose a class participation and attendance, I'm going to give them 10 marks. So what I am going to expect when I say that I'm going to give you 10 marks for what? So attendance is fine. I'm going to give you what percentage of marks can be given for attendance, and what is the meaning of class participation. Similarly, midterm test. So midterm test or business quiz. So if it is an MCQ, please share that it is going to be an MCQ, descriptive and all, and it is going to be of how many marks. Similarly, if you are going to give marks for presentation, and of course, presentation works because when you talk about they being creative, so students can demonstrate their creativity and they can have some understanding of our Bloom's taxonomy, which is talking about higher order level thinking called create. So probably something can be taken care from that. Similarly, case study assignments and final exams of 60 marks. So this is the normal pattern. So this is I thought help us understand that how this TLP is linked with our QP. The next important thought which came to mind while I was preparing my presentation is, see, the question paper which we are setting may not be of IIM standard or Harvard standard. And probably the paper which they are setting may not be of any help to us. So we need to understand that question paper. And when I'm talking about student centric approach, so I should understand what is meaning of quality of students. So when I'm focusing on quality of students, I'm saying, how do I know what is the quality of students? So I should see what is their past qualifications and how have they scored in their previous examinations. We can also check their scores in entrance exams like CET or CAT, and what is from which kind of institute are they coming in. So if they are coming in from good institutions, we know that probably quality is of this order. If they are coming in from extremely difficult institution, and they are, I'm not blaming anybody, but these are the challenges of understanding the quality of the students. And if they have acquired some more skills and knowledge other than the academics, probably we need to have some information. And then we know that suppose if you have 3 division, 1 division, 2 division, you know what is the kind of quality you have when you talk about averaging the batch. So just to see that no, you have already been doing a lot of outcome based understanding. So I have a small fill in the blanks for all of you. And I wish to probably share your thoughts, or one of you, if you're aware of, probably one of you can keep your mic on and share your answers also. So it is a fill in the blank approach, and just to check the assessment of yours. I'll give you 1 minute for this, and probably you can. Natika madam, I cannot see the chat. Probably if you can see the chat and if you feel that people are giving answers, I'm okay. Anybody? Hello?
Read
So,
it,
sir,
sir.
the
Yeah.
first blank is remember.
Wonderful.
Second one is to apply, you should understand.
Yes.
And in order to uh, apply a concept, you must have analyzed it.
Okay.
And to create, you must have done a thorough evaluation.
Okay. So only the third area or third
Third one,
line. Yeah. In order to evaluate a concept.
evaluate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
In order to evaluate a concept, you must have analyzed it.
Analyze.
So if, yeah. So
Thank
no,
you.
it is just yeah. Thank you so much for contributing to this journey. And this was only to refresh probably whatever Bloom's taxonomy you are already undergoing. And I'm also going to touch base upon it in a different way. And therefore, let me check. Yeah. So answers are here. I'm going to share the PPT, so don't worry about. Don't have to click the photographs or anything. So basically our focus is Bloom's taxonomy, where we are talking about remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating. So from lower order thinking to higher order thinking, and everything means be it our questions, be it our formative assessment, be it our summative assessment, the check has to be whether are we focusing on what kind of thinking skills. Means basically at the adult and business management institution, we are more focused on their thinking orders, cognitive levels. So how do we ensure that we are continuously focusing on our higher order? And since we are a postgraduate institution, it is expected that we focus more on the higher order thinking levels. So just to test you, because I think you have already gone through your test patterns. So I want you to engage once again and take probably 1 minute to check means your own understanding of whatever you are learning to see that remembering matches with A, B, C, D, E, F of column C, understanding and all. Then probably I'll share so that I'm just trying to be with you so that next when we use, so we'll be aligning ourselves. Yeah, anybody, yeah. And if have you done your match the columns?
Yes, sir. Sir,
Wonderful.
participants
Yeah.
have put like Divya ma'am has put 1F. Almost all.
Okay.
Shripad sir, Vaishali ma'am, Sonu ma'am has put 1F. Vaishali
Okay.
ma'am 2E. Divya ma'am
Okay.
2E, 3C. Then Eric sir 1F. Then Sonu
Okay.
ma'am 2D. Means
Okay.
most of them have replied sir, in the chat.
Replied. So I'll just showcase them so that they can check whether their answers are right or wrong.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So again, I'll tell you why I'm doing this. I hope you all can see the arrows.
Yes, sir, we can.
Yeah. See, the purpose was that we are so glued with the verbs and we focus that, okay, if this verb is coming in the list of Bloom's taxonomy, then, oh, this choose word is coming twice. Oh, this is coming this. So we get confused sometimes when we pick up the verbs. And I could see that some of the answers were there was some misalignment with this approach. I'm not saying you are right or wrong, but why I took this activity, the larger purpose was when you are going to create a question paper, we are expected to use a proper verb. And when we talk about use of proper verb, the logic is what is that at the subconscious level in my mind when I'm seeing the course outcome, what is that I'm going to really ask? So these are suggestive verbs by Bloom's system, the revised one. And you can be, means we all know that you have your own wisdom. So don't get stuck with that. This verb is in this column of remembering, this column of applying, understanding. So they have given you a list, and I feel that it is a quite substantial list. But the whole purpose is we need to understand what is that verb trying to help us and how this verb can be used to help the student also. So that is the purpose of, and don't get bogged up by my verb is going wrong and all that. So nothing of that sort. So basically, when we talk about Bloom's taxonomy and creating questions out of that, I'm saying when we focus on remember, we are trying to figure out whether student is in a position to retain and recall or recognize whatever we have told him. So can he bring in something, whatever we have told him? So is he in a position to retain? So you use whatever appropriate verb you have learned. We need not memorize Bloom's taxonomy at all, because the focus is not memorizing or keeping always the Bloom's chart in front of you. Initially you can, because you may not be familiar currently, but uh, over a period of time, I'm sure we need to understand that my question is lower order. When I'm focusing on remember, it is a lower order thinking level. I'm just checking whether student is in a position to retain and recall. Means it's a memory focused question. It is not focusing on somebody's analytical abilities, critical thinking abilities and all. Second is when we talk about the understanding level, it is little higher than the remembering level. And the expectation is whether means when I'm asking a question, only student can explain something only if he has understood properly. Yeah. So no, please use appropriate verbs. Don't get logged in this scheme of verbs, because there are many verbs. We need to be very clear. Why are we using that verb? When we talk about can somebody put off your mic? I think it is on. Then analyze is focusing on we need to judge, and differentiate something, compare something for better evaluation. And of course, choose something from the, so evaluation is linked with your decision making. So how you are going to use this. So questions should be framed keeping these 6 level of thinkings when we use the question paper setting approach. And I'm going to be taking you there. So some of the important reasons which I thought are important from us, from our perspective of using Bloom's taxonomy, is that while I was preparing my own question using Bloom's taxonomy, I started thinking which type of question is going to be used. Because earlier, I'm sure all of you will agree that we used to take a topic, and suppose if it is product life cycle, so probably we'll have some question linked with product life cycle, whatever comes to my mind, and I'm sure I'm going to connect it that way. Some of the teachers were always focused on application based questions, and they created all the questions which were application oriented. So it was based more on the thinking approach of a teacher rather than a structured approach. So Bloom's taxonomy helps the teacher, or it makes the teacher think type of questions before they are put in black and white. It brings about a clarity when questions are formulated by the teachers. Now these verbs are only for bringing in the clarity that what is expected. When you are saying explain, who can explain? Only somebody who has understood can explain. So explain cannot be the highest order level. So we need to be very clear about it. And therefore Bloom's taxonomy brings in all those clarity of different levels of thinking. Similarly, Bloom's taxonomy assists a teacher to bring out balance while setting the question paper. So if your policy is to check all the levels of thinking, then there has to be a balance in the paper. It cannot be checking only evaluation and creativity kind of thing, or it cannot be only focusing on remembering and understanding. So if you want to bring in some balance, so some level of questions can be from LO, which is lower order thinking. Some question can be from the IO, which is intermediate order of cognitive thinking. And some questions can be from the HO, which is higher order thinking. So this is how a paper can be more balanced. And how do we create that balanced? I'm going to showcase that in my next slides, few other slides. Yeah. So consistency is also observed in question paper across all courses when Bloom's taxonomy is introduced in the assessment system. So consistency, and this consistency will ultimately help you in attaining your POs also. Because if all your COs, course outcomes coming out of all your 30 courses, no, when they align with the POs, probably you start getting a lot of consistency in the system. So this is why we need to adopt Bloom's taxonomy. This I'm sure you have already seen, so I'm just moving on. But I'm trying to tell you that we need to be continuously thinking of the levels of thinking while preparing the question paper. The teaching staff is advised of the different cognition levels and possible tools that can be used to test the students' knowledge of the subject. So this is very important because this is focusing on the levels of thinking. Now, when we talk about the cognitive levels of thinking and checking the systems with the students, so a model called LO, IO, and HO for teaching staff could be designed for applying the concepts while setting the question paper. So this is another approach which I felt probably we have not been using in the system, but this kind of approach can help everybody because this will create a balance in the system. This will create a balanced question paper, a fair question paper from the student's perspective and from a teaching learning perspective. So when we talk about LO, I'm talking about lower order cognitive questions. So questions for testing the remembering and understanding of the concept by the students. So probably you can always keep this remembering and understanding can be together because we may not only focus on remembering. So probably you can, when we talk about lower order cognitive, we are merging remembering and understanding. Similarly, when we talk about intermediate order cognitive questions, you can focus on applying and analyzing. So you can club now applying and analyzing together in some of your questions if need be to ensure that you are focusing on intermediate order cognitive questions. Similarly, you can have HO, which is higher order cognitive questions to test the evaluating and creating abilities of the students. So this can be one tool to help you check the balance of the question paper. I hope I am communicating and things are moving fine. I'm only hoping that whatever I'm sharing with you is, yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. So when you talk about the cognitive thinking levels, I'm just again trying to engage you with some questions. So when we talk about the first question called define Ohm's law, so this will fall under LO, IO, or HO. Anybody?
So LO.
Great, 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 fantastic. Similarly, what is the root mean square value of an alternating current?
So can you repeat?
What is the root mean square value of an alternating current?
So again LO.
Wonderful, 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 wonderful. Next is classify the soils based on the data given.
IO.
I could not get it.
Medium.
Okay, IO, yeah, IO, yeah. And next is design a pneumatic circuit for the application described.
HO, sir. HO.
High order.
Great, great, wonderful,
HO.
wonderful.
High order.
Yes, yes, yes. So, this is how, if we are very clear that our different levels of thinking are being taken care in a question paper, I think this will be a balanced question paper. And then I'll shift on to difficulty levels also. Then how do we bring in difficulty levels? Yeah. So these are some of the important things which we need to take care, and I will also help you with the formats so that you get a process for that. So when I talk about cognitive levels of thinking and classifications and distribution of marks, so whatever I'm suggesting you is based on my understanding and whatever research papers I have read. So based on that, the percentage distribution recommended is for LO, lower order cognitive questions. You can have around 20 to 30% of marks, because there are some students who need this understanding level. We need to check their understanding level, and we need to check this understanding level, lower order thinking, for everybody by and large. But this may help some of the students. The IO intermediate order cognitive questions could be, taking 40 to 50% of your weightage of the overall question paper, and balance could be 30%, 30 to 40% could be your higher order thinking. So since if you focus on the IO plus HO, it is close to 70 to 80%. So this justifies our thought process of being into postgraduate level, and probably 20% you can have LO. Now this whatever I'm sharing is purely what we are doing at Dr. V.N. Bedekar Institute of Management. Every institute is free to and they have their own policies pertaining to their POCU attainments. So keep focus on that. I'm only sharing with you what we are doing and what from where we have picked up kind of thing. So the distribution of marks over LO, HO and IO classification also depends on levels. Means if it is a first year of the study, probably question paper can be little milder than the second year papers. Similarly, it can also depend on whether it is an analytical type of question paper or theoretical type of question paper. So when we talk about distribution of questions across different cognitive levels, so all these things have to be taken care, because we should not be stressing the student, because probably I know something and I want to check his level of that level. Probably that can put a lot of pressure on the student. So whatever we are teaching, let it be very transparent, and let us ensure that we check whatever you have taught, and we have already shared with them that this is going to be checked. The Bloom's taxonomy principle serves as a guideline. Now I'm only sharing with you that this is very important, that we need to use Bloom's taxonomy as a guideline for framing the question paper. However, it is largely left to the teachers to bring out a balanced paper as a final outcome. So paper has to be well balanced, keeping in mind that you are ensuring that your lower order thinking, intermediate order thinking and higher order level thinkings are attained. Now some of important steps which I'm sure if you are not done your B.Ed and if you have not undergone any training program, probably this could be of some help. So few steps which are so very important. First is your design of question paper. So there has to be a proper design of question paper. I'm going to take you into depth of all this. So no, please bear with me. Then preparation of a blueprint of a question paper, preparation of a model question paper, preparation of a marking scheme, refining question paper, editing question paper, and reviewing of a question paper by a third party. If any good institution is following all these steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I'm sure the question paper which is getting generated is going to be a balanced question paper. So when we talk about design of question paper, what are we taking care of? So first and foremost is what is the kind of weightages which we are going to give to the COs, because all the COs cannot be have the same marks. Some institution can say that no, we are going to give same weightages to all the COs. So it is again, but weightages have to be given. That has to be decided. Then what is the kind of weightage somebody is going to give to long answers, short answers, and MCQs? So how do you give weightages, and how much marks you are going to give for long answers, short answers, and MCQ? What are the number of questions which are going to be there, and what is the kind of marks which are going to be allocated? Then time allocated to each question and total time for the paper. Number of sections if need be. if you are going to decide that section A, section B, section A is compulsory, section B is not compulsory, all that. So that can be another reason. Then there can be a section for compulsory question if some of the institutions or most of the institutions are focusing that this CO has to be definitely covered. I need to assess this CO for all the students. It could be CO5, it could be CO4, CO6, whatever level. And then you can create a compulsory question for testing that CO. Then QP to assess if the students have acquired minimal skills and knowledge. Minimal, I'm not saying the maximum. So maximum can be, it can vary from student to student, but the question paper is to assess if the students have acquired minimal skills and knowledge and difficulty level based on the quality of students. I have already shared with you what is quality of students, and therefore question paper should have a difficulty level based on their quality, not on the level of the teacher. Now, when you design the question paper, you also need to ensure that it is properly linked with the TLP. Means it has to have all the base, all the foundation coming in from your TLP. TLP is your teaching learning plan. Then design the QP based on the weightages given in the TLP. So you would have given some weightages in the TLP itself. So how much weightage is given and accordingly prepare the QP. Use formative and summative tools as suggested in the TLP. So I showed you in the fourth section that there is something called class test, this test, that test could be formative, and then your summative tools. So use all those tools which you have already suggested. Don't change that. I have shared something in TLP and I'm executing something else. So don't do that. Then QP to be designed to assess the learning outcomes as shared in the TLP. So probably it happens that learning outcomes in the in the TLP, in the session plans could be different and my questions are not even aligning to the learning outcomes. So it is a meaningless question paper. So we need to be very clear that the learning outcomes or the course outcomes have to be in line with TLP and QP has to be in line with the TLP. So this is one format which I thought probably can help the teachers to set their papers. So it is like creating a table of specification is a two-dimensional chart giving placement of different questions in line with the learning outcomes or learning objectives or the course outcomes. So if you see the table, probably you will realize that on the left hand side where the objectives or topics are coming, I have written something called PLC, BCG matrix and 4Ps. I have taken all this because most of the management teachers are familiar with these terms. So I'm trying to see whether when I talk about PLC, I'm talking about product life cycle. So what I want to check when I talk about the topic called product life cycle, I want to check the apply level in my system with the students. So I'm going to have a short answer. SA means short answer, LA is long answer, and MCQ is multiple choice questions. So I want to test in my topic called product life cycle. I want to check the application level and therefore it is coming in. And I do not want to because I'll also show that weightage to this is little less in my topic. And how do we calculate weightage? That also I'm going to show. So therefore, I'm giving a short answer question to the student. When I talk about, yeah, please. Anybody wants to say something? Yeah, okay. So next is our example. I'm just giving you examples. This is not something which everybody has to follow. I'm giving you some example kind of thing. So BCG matrix, if you are going to have a question which is pertaining to BCG matrix and you want to analyze the portfolio of a company for different products, probably you have a long answer type and the testing of the level of thinking or cognitive level of thinking could be focused on analyze. Similarly, when you talk about 4Ps and you just want to check whether student remembers those 4Ps or no, so you can have a small short answer question in that. So if you have all your topics, whatever you are covering in your question paper, in your syllabus, and if you create this chart, probably you know for what topic, what kind of level of thinking you are testing or assessing and how it can help you attain your CO and it will help the student fare better in the assessment. I hope I'm going to share this with you. So Probably if you find this as useful to you, please use it. Next is preparation of model question paper. So again, when you talk about model question paper, it is in line with our earlier thing, but the topics can be, on one side, the form of question which I have already shared with you, then estimated difficulty level. So for PLC, what is the difficulty level? For 4Ps, what is the difficulty level? BCG, so you can have your difficulty level as 1, 2, or 3. And then you say, no, this is 1 can be a small difficulty level and 3 can be a higher order difficulty level. So accordingly, you can have your difficulty levels. Then you can also have what is the kind of estimated time you have to give to the student to write that topic. So you are very clear that how your total time which comes out of this should be the total time which is going to be given to the students. Example, 3 hours or 2 hours or 2.5 hour kind of thing. So whatever is there, you can get it from this and also the marks. So what is the kind of marks you're going to give to these topics? And I'm going to share with you how to get these marks also. One more suggestion which I feel which I added is this model answer key type. So while preparing this, and if you are preparing the question paper and if you are going to check, there is no harm. Then probably you know what is in your mind. But if somebody else is going to check, then it is good to create a small model answer key. And if the question is MCQ, you can directly get, if somebody is giving a right answer, you get a full mark. But if they are giving you short answers and long answers, so one has to be very clear that for long answers, what is the expectation of the evaluator? So if there are in the long answer type, if the expectations of the evaluator are that he should be at least doing this, he should be drawing a diagram which is talking about this model, he should be justifying this. So, and for each step in that process, some marks. So suppose if your long answer is taking care of say 10 marks, so 2 marks for something which is say drawing of the picture of that model. Second could be justification for that. Third could be he has given an example. Fourth, he has applied that model in something. Fifth, something. So if you are very clear about your long answer expectations, then any examiner can do justice with the marking system. So that will help you also, or if you are there, if you are absent or if you have left or some whatever happens in the system, then probably student is not at loss by any chance, because somebody who has set the question paper, and if that kind of instructions are given for marking, I think that will help the student and also the examiner. So it is important that preparation of a model QP could be done. Marking scheme is the purpose is to assign proportion of marks to different parts of the question, which I have already shared with you. Now could be the questions could be selective type or it could be the supply type. So just to make you clear that when you talk about selective type questions, student is expected to select the answers from our whatever we have given. So it is selection. So he's selecting the things from whatever is given. So could be match the column, could be MCQ type, could be fill in the blanks where answers are again given. So true or false where everything is he has to just select. So you could use your selective type of questions or supply type of questions. When you talk about supply type of questions, student has to supply things in the system. So probably you ask a question and student has to supply the answers. So this is the supply type of questions. Supply type of questions are normally the long answer type or short answer type or essay type of questions, whatever one may decide to ask. So this is how the marking scheme can be. Then refining your question paper. So refining is the QP question paper testing the important learning outcomes. So somebody with a team, if you are the question paper and if you have 4 or 5 people in your operations specialization or marketing specialization, somebody can help you review whether which question is helping attain this CO, which question is helping attain that CO. And if you have already written in front of that question itself, I think great. That really brings in a lot of clarity. Is the QP testing the COs as decided in the TLP? Are the verbs in the QP as suggested as per the Bloom's taxonomy? So as suggested means not that you have to take everything accordingly, but broad guidelines have been followed. Is the scope of the QP well defined as regards to clarity of direction for the learner? Means Why I'm asking you here is we had a concept of writing short notes. Now, while creating that kind of question, write short notes on. It is never clear what is the expectation of the examiner from the. We are expecting that he will write something. Now, if the examiner is different, if there are different examiners for same things, probably everybody can give different marks because this question itself is not giving too much of clarity. So therefore, clarity of direction for the learner and for the assessor, both will come if you do proper review of the QP. Then language of the questions. I think this is very important. Um, my only thought process here is whenever we talk about language, keep it as simple as possible. Do not bring in the Shakespeare's or our Tharoor's English here because we just want them to understand the question properly and answer it accordingly. What is the expected length of the answers? If we can be very clear about it, probably if it is within 400 words, within 300 words, 100 words, all that. If that is clear, so that there is some limitation and student is also very clear, because a lot of times it happens that there is no clarity, then students keep on writing and writing and writing 2 pages, 3 pages, supplementaries and all, which we have all experienced that. Then your marking schemes and appropriate level of difficulty. So this review will help you get all this. Some more things when we talk about editing is grouping the questions as per COs. So probably if you can group the questions as per the levels of thinking, probably it helps student to from where to start and when all that. Then numbering of the questions, very important from the editing perspective. Instructions to be made very clear. A lot of times, solve 4 out of this, vagera, but the number of questions itself are less and all that. We have seen this happening. So avoid such issues and instructions to be very clear. Confidentiality and quality of highest order possible when you talk about editing. Now, some of the important elements when you talk about review is relevance of the questions and its linkage with COs. First, must emphasize on assessing the professional skills and competence. So if we are focusing on POs are talking about ability of critical thinking, ability of decision making, and if your COs are not using those words, so how your COs are actually aligning with the POs also, because that has to be taken care, because finally students should have demonstrable skills, and it is the responsibility of institutes and teachers to ensure that student as a part of OBE, student should demonstrate those skills. Then questions are on rare phenomena may be avoided. What happens? Some news comes in economic times and the teacher gets excited about that something, and they create a question out of that, and that is there in the. I think that should be avoided because rare phenomena should be avoided. If it is a regular thing happening and if you feel that that is going to be very important, it is a very relevant also, please. But if it is a rare phenomena, avoid. QP should be evaluating the practical and professional abilities. So whatever ability student has, student is expected to deliver or student is expected to learn from this program, we need to evaluate. The length of QP should be reasonable for an average student. Always keep in mind the average student in your mind when you are designing this question paper. The marks allocated should be in proportion to the difficulty level. So whatever is the difficulty level, accordingly allocate the marks. Coverage of the curriculum and all the COs as shared in the TLP. Avoid errors, grammatical errors, number, etc. Creativity in our programs to be encouraged. So when we talk about say MCQ type questions and others, probably becomes little difficult. So because they are not allowing the student to think. So wherever probably you need to reduce your weightages accordingly, and question should not contain gender, religious or caste related statements. We should avoid all that. Yeah. So one format I thought I'll just share with you, which we use currently at Dr. V. N. Brims is, so the first part is definitely the name of the institution, the program, which semester, date of examination, course name, student's roll number to be written on the. So total number of questions, total number of printed pages, date, duration, marks, code, and all that. And whatever are the course outcomes. So if I'm focusing on say 5 COs in this course, so probably can I have all those 5 COs also on this question paper itself? So it brings in a lot of transparency with the student, because student may not remember all the COs always. And if there are 30 papers, he cannot remember all the COs. So there is no harm in giving COs also in the question paper. Similarly, when we talk about questions, so say example question number 1, no, there is a case and caselet is of 500 to 800 words. Some marks can be given. I'm not showing marks, because every institute will have separate schemes. So I'm not getting into that kind of confusion. So have some marks. BL is your Bloom's taxonomy level. So Bloom's taxonomy level is checking level 4. When I say level 4, we are talking about analyzing. When I say level 3, I'm talking about applying. Level 2, I'm talking about understanding, all that. Yeah. And which COs are focused in my system. So this question number 1 of mine, which is a case study, will have 2 questions, and probably it will take care of Bloom's taxonomy levels, level 4 and level 5. And it will also take care of course outcomes, CO4 and CO5. Similarly for other questions. Am I making things very clear?
Excuse me, sir, if I may just ask you a question.
Sure. Sure.
So is it important to have CO3 or CO4 in the case study, or is it okay to also incorporate 1, 2, or 3?
See, case study cannot get into one, I'm sure, when you talk about the lowest order level of thinking. Because case study is nothing to, there is nothing to remember out of your case study. Case study is an application oriented scenario. Right, madam? Am I communicating?
Yes, sir, yes.
Yeah. So see, you will have to understand that. See, because I've not seen the case, so I cannot take an immediate judgment. But I'm saying whatever case is focusing on, if the case is focusing on the application of knowledge, if the case is expecting some problem solving abilities in the student, if the case is focusing on analyzing some data, then accordingly you judge that what is that case talking about, and then based on that you can allocate CO4 or CO5 accordingly. Have I answered your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. So next is the practical approach. So this was the theory part, which I thought I'm sure this is not the part of our training and teaching, but this will help you in creating your question paper in line with COPOs and OBE. Next is setting in papers a practical approach. So you should list the topics which you are going to cover and which are linking your COs. Second is the weightages assigned to the various topics. Next is types of questions which you have decided. So what is the kind of selection questions and supply questions, and use appropriate verbs. While testing the one important thing is, which I thought I'll bring it to the table. The fifth point, while testing the applying level, it is suggested to design a question for application which is not discussed in the class. Am I making clear? See what happens now, probably a lot of teachers. So what they will do something. Suppose they are helping the student understand the application of some knowledge, and the same thing which they have taught, they would expect them to write in the answer sheet. Now tell me which level of thinking we are testing when we are doing that. If I am teaching some application in the class and I'm expecting the same thing to be reproduced in the answer in the question paper. So I'll ask a question in line with my teaching, and same to same is expected. So which order level of thinking I'm testing? Yeah, so you will write CO3 or all that, but you are actually testing level 1. So don't do that, because then that is not a fair thing from your perspective also. So no, get into that kind of mode where you feel you are fair. It is a balanced approach. And no, probably a student is also in line with your things. So he's also applying his brain. Let him feel the challenge of application. Let him get into a little bit of thinking caps on, and then assemble the questions accordingly. The next important things come the weightages. So the thought is, how do we get the weightages? So there are so many topics. So what I thought is, while reading again through some of the research papers, I thought, so example, I'll just come to the example. The topics are, suppose the topic is very clear, which is called PLC. So program apna product life cycle. The time allocated for this topic was 3 hours. So I was supposed to teach this topic called product life cycle for 3 hours, right? And total time allocated to me for teaching a subject called marketing management example is 40 hours. So weightage is I have used 3 hours out of 40 hours. And if this question is getting into my final paper, which is going to be of 60 marks, then the total marks should not be more than 5 marks. So weightage for this particular topic is 4.5 or rounded off to 5 marks. So this is how you can get into some weightage format. Why I'm sharing with you, because if you keep doing this activity, I'm telling you your NBA audits are also going to be very simple because they know that you are following a process. This is something to do with process and approach. So this is one of your approaches. So how you have arrived at 60 marks. So you know that you are focusing on these COs and every CO weightage is this. And for this CO, I have taken this topic. So and this was the time allocated. And therefore, I'm in a position to take care of this. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Next is learning outcomes for each topic. Now, when I talk about, say, PLC, focus on that when I'm using this topic called, I'm continuously using PLC because to keep the alignment same. So product life cycle. So product life cycle, I'm not testing the remembering. See, also understand that when I'm using the uh, higher order or third order level thinking called applying, I am assuming, and it is very clear that student has understood and he remembers something called PLC. This is also the concept. When he's applying, who can apply? We have already tested your that fill in the blanks if you recall. Who can apply? Only somebody who has understood and somebody remembers and recognizes can apply the knowledge. Am I right? Am I clear? So accordingly, keep the learning outcomes for each topic very clear. Then framing a question. So how do we frame a question? So topics to be covered is say product life cycle and weight, which I have to give is say 5 marks. And I have to link this to my CO called apply example and difficulty level as per the quality of students, whether they are the first year, second year, and all that background, which I have already shared with you. Then I'm sharing with you an example of a question. So illustrate how product market strategies change across product life cycles and what a brand manager should do to make the product live for a longer period of time. Now, this is purely an application based question. So I'm using the word illustrate, in some of the taxonomies examples, probably this could be here, there. So don't get into that. But our whole purpose here is now this is not a straightforward question like define product life cycle or draw the PLC. We are not getting into that. We are saying that how a brand manager can do something if this is the scenario and how can the product life of a product can be extended using proper thought processes. So if you create such questions, probably they get into the application mode. While see, why I'm sharing with you such type of things because from where you are taking the question, I also shared with you the source of this question. It is coming from Marketing Management Text and Cases by Tapan Panda. And so the logic here is be as clear with yourself. Don't get into any imaginary thought process. So be as process oriented as documented oriented. It will help. Next is type of questions which I have already shared with you, the selection type or the supply type. So selection type is focused on remembering and understanding. Could be MCQs, match the columns, true or false, which I have already shared. And the supply type where questions pertaining to application of knowledge, questions to test the ability to analyze, evaluate and create. And it could be long answers, short answers, or essay type, could be case study, could be scenario based questions also. Some of the questions could be scenario based also. So every time you may not get when you talk about say application, so you may not always take a question from a book. You can create a scenario based on your experience, wisdom, and you can also create something on analyzing or applying. Yeah. Some of the general instructions which one can follow. Yeah, I cannot hear something. Somebody wants to ask me a question. I think there is some noise coming in. Yeah. Yeah. So some of the important parts of the questions could be the instructions. Can somebody keep their mic mute? Yeah. So some of the important. Hello. Hello. Can we continue? Yeah. So basic instructions on any question paper could be, visible, should be the name of the college, university, branch, semester, year, course code if it is there, total marks and time allocated or allowed. Next is simple instructions could be, the instruction should be complete in all the format. They should be concise. They should be correct, should be very, very simple, could be section wise and ensure that grammatically correct. The questions or items which you frame should be relevant, should not be of 1980s and all that. Avoid make them as relevant. So case studies of some past companies which no more exist. It's they don't have any meaning now. So avoid such questions. Make them as relevant as possible. Measure significant outcomes. So your questions should focus on measuring significant learning outcome. Third important point is correctly framed as per the guidelines of writing questions, including the weightage given to from the marks perspective. Properly sequenced. So the sequence should be also be in line with your POCOs and all that, COs and the difficulty levels if possible, and grammatically correct. So if you follow this, probably it will also help. Then marks distribution. When you talk about marks distribution, so proper allocation of marks to each question, then distribution of marks or subsections, oblique parts. So it has to be made very clear. Don't think that student will understand if you are writing that 10 marks and ABC. So student will understand that it is 3.3, 3.3. Don't get into any, students cannot assume anything. It is better we make things very clear. Third is higher ability levels assign more marks. So please ensure that when you are testing things or checking the higher order level thinkings, so they should be assigned more marks. Now there is a difference between difficulty level and higher ability level. So therefore, I'm showcasing you difficult questions assign more marks. So difficulty level could be even in application question, and difficulty level could also be in a evaluation question. So question, if the question is difficult, even in understanding level, you have more marks for it. So according to the difficulty level of the question in that cognitive level of thinking, have mark allocation or weightage, marks weightage, and marking scheme to be clearly provided. So that will help the assessment. So coming closer to the end of my session, I thought let me create some samples for you. So remembering, so question for remembering. So list the important characteristics of services. Simple. I just want to check whether they understand, whether they remember the characteristics of services. No. What are the 4 P's in marketing? So these are very basic questions, but I'm saying if you want to test the remembering, simplest, so can be these. Similarly, if you want to check the understanding, could be discuss the reasons for growth of service sector. So somebody has understood the reasons for growth, probably he will be in a position to share. Explain the GE model. So if he has understood the GE model, he can. Similarly, apply. So identify utilization of computer-based reservation system for increasing the capacity utilization in service business. Can be application of computers now or technology in the capacity utilization. Similarly, apply the knowledge of service package in a fine dine restaurant. So if he knows service package, what is meaning of service package and what are the components of service package, he can apply that in any of the scenarios I have given a fine dine restaurant, because this is a common thing for any student to understand. Similarly, when I talk about questions like analyze, so analyze the elements in a framework for formulating the strategic service vision. So now here somebody has to get into the framework and strategic thinking, strategic vision, all that. So he has to analyze. Then analyze the essence behind service process matrix and its impact on business strategies. So what is service process matrix? So can he analyze that when there are 4 quadrants, what is happening in this quadrant, and how, based on his understanding, can he analyze what business strategies could be used so that he has he applies the relevant knowledge in the system. And we can also use for evaluate. You are a restaurant manager. Now this is a scenario based. So you're a restaurant manager and during non-peak hours, your restaurants and bars are not getting footfall, which you normally get during peak hours. I recommend strategies for attracting. So he will have to evaluate what is happening during this time, what is not happening during this time, and then probably then he will have to analyze the data if he's capturing the data, and then if he has all that data available, probably he can evaluate what strategy he can apply so that things work for non-peak hours. So it's just evaluate and create. So for creating, I have used the verb create itself, and create an online service business model in education sector for helping teachers create question papers in line with the OBE framework example. So probably the service question paper creation is going to be a task now because it is going to eat some more time, and therefore if somebody can create a business model out of this and question papers are readily available, and then you just choose the questions based on your COs, probably becomes a model example. So just to get into the lighter mode. So these are some of the sample questions which I thought. And last slide from my side is current challenges of a teacher in the framework and question paper setting. So some of the important elements which I'm focusing on is adequate time. So based on my understanding and my observations, I have seen that adequate time is not spent on framing the question papers. So unless and until teacher spends a lot of time and they are very clear that what is the kind of question paper they are creating, no, it is going to be a challenge. So don't get into a rush of 5 minutes. I'll create a question paper, 10 minutes. Question paper creation will take at least 2 to 3 hours if you are really focusing on CO based and OB framework. Then lack of understanding of OB framework itself is a challenge. So a lot of people do not understand the OB framework, and I'm sure after this session, many of you will be comfortable with OB framework and you will be in a position to create more questions.
Hello.
Then yeah.
Can I ask?
Hello.
Can you disturb you in between?
Yes, no
Hello?
problem, madam.
Yeah, I just want
Yes,
to ask, like, do you talking about this so many current challenges that for setting up the question paper? So could
Yeah.
you recommend there should be some system called as a waiting of question paper, so that we
Yes,
could
yes. It is there, madam.
avoid these challenges.
Lack of review mechanism, no. So if you have a review mechanism, no, madam, you can create whatever you want. No, I think I have been asking, like, no, for a visiting faculty. A lot of times it does happen that my exam department is following up with the visiting faculty, and the visiting faculty is not sharing the question paper on time. I'm sure many institutes are maybe facing this challenge. Now, where is the challenge? Why can't we ask a question paper after he has completed 2 to hello? Hello?
Yeah, you're
Hello?
audible, sir.
Yeah. So why can't we ask a visiting faculty to submit the
True.
question paper after he has completed 2 to 3 sessions? Where is the challenge? Because he has to cover the syllabus. Syllabus is in front of him. COs are very clear to him. Everything is very clear. So, and in 3 to 4 session, he has also understood the difficulty levels of the student. So quality of the student is also understood by him. He can start preparing a paper and submit. And then once he submit, somebody has some time for reviewing. So it can be reviewed whether it is in line with the entire framework. And then probably you have some more time to create all the quality assurance check. But what actually happens is when we get into last moment creating of question paper, we bypass all the quality checks. We bypass
Agreed.
all the quality checks. Yeah. And I'm sure, no, currently in my institution, I'm very clear that papers have to be reviewed. They have to be moderated if need be, and before they go to the students, because many teachers
Agreed.
who are say no experienced or less experienced teachers, no, I'm not blaming them, but they may not be in a position to create question paper of the best order. So somebody, some senior teacher has to assist them initially. So only review mechanism can help. Then lack of training of for teachers on assessment skills. This is also I feel like thanks to the system
Thank
now,
you, sir.
and thanks to thank you St. Francis Institute for creating this kind of awareness. I think this is very value information. And lack of understanding of learners' expectation. Unfortunately, students come to the class, teachers teach. There is no set expectations for the learners, nor students also keep on sharing their expectations very clearly and very boldly. So in the absence of that, we don't know. Sometimes we fail to understand their expectations, and lack of know-how of professional competencies. Now this word competency itself is no probably for a lot of people, because I keep on checking meaning of competencies with a lot of teachers. Competency is not skill. It is some total of attitude, knowledge, and skill. So student has to have all these things put together, because the world is moving towards competency levels, and we need to check in our own assessment that how competent the student is when he's moving out of the institution. So this is what I thought I will share in 1.5 hours, and no, I'm sure since yesterday your POCU attainment levels have been taken care of and all others. And I spoke to Ramesh sir 3 days back and said Bloom's taxonomy and preparation of question paper should be good enough for 1.5 hours. I thought I don't know whether I have done justice to the topic, but I'm sure when I share this and if you follow all this, you will be in a position to create question paper, balanced question paper, which is meaningful and which is in line with your NBA visits. We have already completed our NBA visit. Results are awaited. We didn't have much challenge there, and therefore I thought whatever I know and I have learned in the process, I've shared. So Natika madam, this is what I thought I'll share. Thank you so much for the opportunity. If there are any questions, I'll be more than happy to take any question.
Thank
Sir,
you
I
so
had a
much, sir.
question.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Go
Yes,
ahead, please.
Sir, just a thought that came to my mind since I was listening to the various speakers.
yeah,
See, when it comes to outcome-based education, I think importance or stress is given upon COs and POs.
yes.
So how important are these PSOs, or if we don't have PSOs also, it is fine if the COs are aligning with the POs?
Madam, see what, based on my understanding again, see this PSO term came actually from the engineering perspective, because in our engineering thought process, no, there is something called mechanical stream, there is civil stream, there is this stream. In one institution, there are different departments. So every department can have a program specific objective. In our specialization, if you have created something like for marketing specialization, if you want to create some PSO, it is fine, but it is not mandatory for you to create PSO, because number of papers are not very high. Means when we talk about say 30 papers total, and the marketing papers or the finance papers or operations papers, the total number of papers are not 30% or 40%. So it is not mandatory according to me.
You know, so I'm from a science background.
Okay.
So in my college, we have different departments for sciences.
Okay.
So we have microbiology, chemistry, physics, and all. So then for
It
us,
is
it would become
it it
mandatory.
it,
Yes.
it will be yes, it is
Yeah.
then it is
Okay. Okay.
because the moment
Thank
you
you so
are
much.
with the different schemes, no, then it is important. Yeah.
Sure, sure. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Yes, Dr. Swati.
Yes, sir.
Swati,
Good
ma'am.
afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, madam.
Yes. So, sir, like you discussed about the weightage given to each COPO, like somewhere.
Yeah.
So, Is it so that it differs from semester to semester, like in fourth semester or in second year, we need to put more emphasis on application that is level 6? So, or it's just per semester? Like I was confused.
Okay, madam, basically, see, the whole focus of the post graduation is level 3 and onwards, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is expected that students who are coming to us will have some understanding because they have already graduated. So our the amount of weightage which we give to level 1 and level 2, which is remembering and understanding, could be little lesser than the other 4 levels. So I have shared with you that when I talk about my LO, which is lower order cognitive thinking, so there your percentage could be not more than 20%, then 20 to 25%. Then your IO and your HO, means intermediate order and the higher order thinkings, can take care of around 75 to 80%, which is justifying the postgraduate level.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Any other questions from the participants? Yes.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, just wanted to ask sir, like for UG, what would he recommend? He had given the table mentioning the LO, IO, and HO.
Yes,
I think
HO. Yeah.
so. That ratio, personally, as you recommend, that will vary according to faculty, right?
True, madam. Yes.
So for
For UG,
the UG level
also,
specifically,
madam, for UG also, you
yeah,
can change the proportion. So probably your LO can be close to
yeah,
40%.
higher, because specifically
Yes, yes.
first year, first semester.
Yes. So you can shift your LOs, no percentage weightage to your LO could be higher in your first year, first semester. Then can gradually you can shift on to till the 6th semester.
Okay.
You can improve. Yeah. And I think
Okay, thank you, sir.
after the NEP in the 4th year, you will have to be only focusing on the research or the create kind of thing.
Yeah. Then maybe
Yes.
probably second year, third year, of course, our proportion we can change accordingly as they move
Yes.
ahead.
True.
Thank you, sir.
It has to be कैसा होता है मैडम कि quality of students vary in each institution, so we cannot generalize this weightages, not to be very precise.
Sir, and these weightages
Yeah.
will have to be reviewed each time a new batch comes in, right? Depending upon the quality of students.
Weightage, madam, I would suggest don't change every time. For at least for 3 years, it is good to keep the same. Means if because see in the cycle, no, in the NBA cycle, whenever you go for, so you will have to have 3 years data. If you're changing your things too fast, then probably no comparison will become very difficult.
Okay. Thank you.
So yeah, so if you have a baseline, so baseline is this, for 3 years we are using this baseline, and for us also to learn and understand the gap, no, it takes some time, madam.
Okay.
Yeah. So once
Thank
you are,
you.
yeah. So no, I hope I have answered your question. Yeah.
Yes, you have.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sir,
Madam.
there is a question from Divya ma'am that
Yes.
she is a paper setter with multiple universities. Many times the only information provided for paper setting is the syllabus of the course. We are not given any PO, COs or any information on quality of student. In
True.
that case, how do we set a good paper?
So I think if she is receiving a lot of question papers from a lot of universities, means she is already an established question paper setter, madam. But however, see what is the level of that university? What is the ranking of that university? If she gets into that kind of understanding, and based on that ranking and understanding of the difficulty level, what is the kind of students they get, and then accordingly you can means see finally it has to be a fair paper. I will always say fair, balanced assessment of students, because if you don't know the students at all, you might create a very difficult paper, and if you know them, probably you can create balanced paper. That is the approach. So based on their cutoff or what is the institutional cutoff, if she invests some time into that. But I don't know whether institute is that system is going to take care of her in terms of that information, because the more the information, it is better to create. Otherwise, it is a very routine kind of activity that you create questions and then you're fine. So Divya, I may not be in a position to be the best guide for you in this kind of scenario. But your wisdom, I think your wisdom is which is going to be most important. Yeah.
Yes, Sean sir, your question, please. Okay, Sean's
Good afternoon,
okay.
sir. Yeah.
Yes,
Good
sir.
afternoon,
Yes,
sir.
sir, please.
This is Professor Sean from GNVS Institute of Management. So some of
Yeah.
our visiting faculty members are from the corporate sector. So in most cases, they don't really have much of an idea about COs and mapping up with POs and the question paper. So in
Yeah.
this, what do you suggest we do? In two
See,
terms, one in terms of paper setting as well as in terms of the correction part of it.
yeah. So one is if you can have a junior faculty attached to them, that will be really nice, because we do this in our system. And whenever we are talking about visiting faculty, we are bringing in only senior visiting faculties, very, very senior visiting faculties. So when a senior visiting faculty is coming in, but when you talk about creating the TLP, so we are expecting that visiting faculty to spend 2 hours, because whenever that TLP is getting prepared, that presence of that visiting faculty is important. Only then everything works. Otherwise, he will teach and go, and there won't be any connection between our COs and POs. It will be like a university paper coming in project management or strategic management for MMS. So I think y- we will have to teach them. We will have to teach them. We'll have to take them for at least 1 or 2 hours, make them realize that. I'll tell you my challenge, and I'm sure it is going to be the challenge of everyone. Visiting faculty comes here, and when I told him that your TLP is not in line with my COs and POs, so he says, "Sir, मैं तो इतने सारे इंस्टीट्यूट में जाता हूँ, किसी ने बोला नहीं, ये आप नया मेरा समय क्यों इन्वेस्ट करना चाहते हैं?" So these kind of questions you are going to face. So it is better to make them realize. Probably the expectation sometimes is I'm going to invest more hours. So can you take care of my remuneration accordingly? So these are some of the challenges which we'll have to handle at institutional level and personal level. But these have to be done because uh, the NBA team also met my visiting faculties. So it is important that we help them realize that whatever we are doing, they should be at least familiar with what we are doing.
So at the end of this thing, so it is the junior faculty who will be doing the mapping and the matrix and all the attainment part of it, not the visiting faculty.
Yeah, because
Ideally.
see, yeah, they cannot. You don't expect something which they can't do, because वो कुछ करेंगे और गड़बड़ हो जाएगा तो आपका पूरा PO अटेनमेंट गड़बड़ हो जाएगा.
Got it, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, Sean sir, just to add, since in our institute also, I'm also head of the department for the academics, and we face the similar challenge when it comes to the visiting faculty. Only option is like to, hire less of the visiting faculty and more of the
Best.
full-time faculty, so that, our administrative work gets reduced. Or some visiting faculty may do the work just for the namesake of the completion, and we at the end may face the difficulty when the accreditation team comes. So it is actually the responsibility on the institute which lies to check about the correctness and the accuracy of the question paper and mapping of the same.
True.
Very
ओनली
true, ma'am.
मैडम एक ही बात है कि उसमें कुछ मार्क्स है फॉर विजिटिंग फैकल्टी 50 आवर्स का है, तो उतना कंप्लीट कर देना चाहिए एक आध दो विजिटिंग फैकल्टी से.
Yes. So less, especially in management institution in semester 3, where we have 5 specialization and roughly 8 subjects, and out of these 8, only 2 are the common. That
Yeah.
means we will be needing a workload of roughly 40 to 50 subjects. 32 subjects are there, so roughly 30. So in that case, if 1 or 2 can be the visiting and remaining all the in-house
Yeah.
faculty, so our
Very
work
true.
will be reduced in such case.
True.
Yes, sir. Yes. Any other questions for sir?
May I put a question to sir?
Yes,
please.
ma'am. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, madam.
Sir, the last point that you mentioned in the current challenges is
Yeah.
lack of know-how of professional competency.
Yes.
Enlighten me about this particular phrase, professional competency.
Uh-huh. You want me to throw some light on that?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So, madam, if you refer to the World Economic Forum data, no, on the website, if you refer World Economic Forum latest data, there will be a lot of professional competencies which are required by say 2030. So 2030 is expecting that critical thinking abilities have to be improved. Problem solving abilities have to be will be in demand. Business communication, which was once upon a time #1 skills, has shifted to third skill now. So professional competency as business communication is shifted to third. So business communication is third. Similarly, decision making ability or decision making skills, leadership skills. So these are not directly means you cannot say leadership के लिए direct अपने पास कोई question है. So professional competencies में leadership component के 3-4 parameters हो सकते हैं. Decision making, initiative taking, all that put together will make leadership skill. So we'll have to be very clear about these professional competencies at workplace. Say data analysis. So what data analysis? Which type of data analysis? How it is going to help them get a job? How it is going to help them get a career progression? So there is an N, I mean, there are close to 30 professional competencies which are there on that list. Probably if you go through them, probably it will be of some help to you.
Thank
Yeah.
you, sir.
Welcome, welcome, madam. Welcome. Please, I'm recommending everybody to please visit that World Economic Forum data. It will help all the institutions to take care of those competencies. Because these assessors are coming from good institutions. This is my experience. And when they come, so they are aware of all these things. In our kind of institutions, sometimes we may not be aware of all these data points and how the world is seeing things from the MBA perspective and all that. So it's good to have this kind of insights.
Any other questions from any of the participants? So I guess no more questions from
Thank
the
you. Thank you.
participants. Yeah.
Thank
So
you
it
so much,
gives
madam.
me it gives me immense pleasure to thank you on behalf of St. Francis Institute of Management and Research for such a wonderful, enriching, informative, and engaging session, sir.
Thank you.
And our participants, so they have given a very good feedback about the sessions which is taken about the session which is being taken by you. And
Thank
it
you so
was
much.
really, sir, enriching session, sir. Lot of
Wow,
information, sir, we have got from today's session about the quality of the paper also, which one needs to take care when making the paper, and also to keep in mind the quality of the students to do the justice with the paper, sir.
Yes. So thank you for thank to you, madam. You have been there and I have seen the kind of pains you have taken for creating this kind of platform, and I can see that even technology wise there were a lot of queries to you. So thanks to you for taking all the pains, and thanks to
My
Dr.
pleasure, sir.
Ramesh. Yeah, thanks to
Yes,
Dr.
sir.
Ramesh and director and top management once again. So with your permission, I can leave the system, madam.
Sir, can you just stop sharing your screen once
Yes.
so that
Yes.
we
I'll
can
do that.
yes.
I'll do that. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Any more questions for sir? Or I don't think so, sir. Any more
Means
questions from our participants?
my last thing is, while preparing question papers, if you have any challenge, Dr. V. N. Bedekar Institute of Management is available. Don't worry.
Yes, sir.
Means wherever
So
you're
nice
stuck
of
and
you,
all
sir.
that, we'll be happy to help.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So nice of you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, madam. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. So with this, with the participants' permission also, we can sir, leave the meeting, sir. Thank you so much,
Okay,
sir.
okay, okay. Thank you,
Yeah.
madam.
Thank you so much, sir. Okay. Participants, we have shared the feedback link in the in the chat also, as well as we have shared at your registered email ID also, as we are doing it on a daily basis. So you can give the feedback as per your convenience. And just to repeat and give certain guidelines again, based on some of the participants' request to appear for the quiz and test on this weekend, we have sent a revised mail which indicates that the test would be enabled on this weekend, that is on 13th May at 8 a.m., which will be active till 14th May at 12 o'clock in the night. Also, further, after that, it will get deactivated, and further, it will get active on 20th of May at 8 a.m. in the morning, and it will remain active till 21st of May till 12 o'clock, and it will get deactivated after that. So there are 4 days, that is 2 weekends for the faculty members, flexibility to appear for the test as per their convenience on any of this one day out of these 4 days to appear for the test. So you can, as per your convenience, pick up the day, time, and give the test. However, it has 40 questions, 40 minutes duration only. So once you click on the link to appear for the test, which will be sent via mail at your registered email ID, and from the same mail ID wherein you are receiving all our emails. So in your registered email ID, you will get the link to appear for the test. Once you click on the link to appear for the test, at one go only in 40 minutes duration, you need to appear and submit the test. And today at 3 p.m., we are going to again discuss the detailed instructions of the test. And we are also going to have an hands-on demonstration wherein a 5 minutes quiz, demo quiz, we are going to take with you all today so that you get feel of the software and the platform on which you will appear for the test. That will be today at 3 p.m. session. And in fact, ma'am was asking for the, some of the model questions which we can get for the test. Today morning, ma'am has, posted in the chat box, like, can we get the model questions? Yes, ma'am. So already sir has taken one or two model today. Benita ma'am has posted today, like, can you please give a model question paper for the quiz? Sir has already taken one or two quiz with you all today via, filling the blanks and match the column. That itself could be, two model questions for the quiz which you can understand. Here you all have given your answers in the chat. There you have to select from the MCQs. Some of the MCQs have 3 options, some of the MCQs have 4 options, depending upon the resource person. This questions of the quiz, which is there, it is based on your 6 days FDP program only, which was taken by the respective resource person. In fact, they have only suggested those questions to be asked to all our participants. And yesterday's recording, we have already shared, and even the PPT. Just to emphasize again, any of the resource person, whoever is permitting us and sharing with us their resource material, we are only able to share those resource material. Otherwise, we are sharing the recording for you all. So till yesterday, we have completed sharing the recording and resource materials with you all, whoever has permitted to us. For today, we will be sharing by end of the day. Also, we have mailed you all the receipts of your payment against your name. The receipt number is there. You can go to the link, click on that link, a drive link gets open. So you can just see that number, receipt number. You can download that receipt and take a printout of it. Any other queries? Yes, Dr. Namita, you have anything? to say? Any queries? Yes, Praveen sir.
Ma'am, day 3 का present PPT
Ma'am, I have
नहीं
replied, sir, I have replied to your mail, and I have again announced now day 3 resource person have not permitted us to share their resource material, nor they have shared with us also. So we are unable to give that, sir. Darshan sir, yes. Darshan sir, you have a query? You have raised your hand,
Yeah,
Darshan sir.
am I audible now?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good
So
afternoon,
I
sir.
had tried that demo link on the the
Auto proctoring
exam
blog. Yes,
or
yes.
auto proctor. Correct. I'm sorry,
Yes,
forgot the
yes,
name.
yes, yes,
Yes.
sir.
So I tried the demo link and it requires me to install an add-in, etc. So I need to have a form or Google form or an MS form ready with their add-on. So I
No, no,
couldn't
sir.
find the
You don't
time.
have to make any Google form ready. It's already there in that. 20 minutes it gives
Okay.
us the test demo. So you can get
Oh,
in
so I
touch
must
with our
have
IT
got
person.
into. Sure,
Yes,
I'll
you
get that.
can. Yes, yes,
That's
sir. We have given
Mr.
our IT person's number in that mail. He will explain you.
Okay.
Nevertheless, sir,
Sure.
today at 3 p.m., I request everyone to please be connected today at 3. The reason is because even if it is a flexible mode, we will not be able to demonstrate by sharing our screen to you later on once you are off from the screen. You have to just see the recording and at your own space, then you have to understand. So today we will share the screen and we will explain you all how to take the test. And we are also going to give you all a demo quiz wherein you all will get feel of the platform. And again, we will get connected, after the test, because we all have to log out from this meeting to give the test. You cannot give your test if you are in any of the meeting or any of your tabs are open. So we all will get log out once we meet at 3 o'clock after certain instructions, after certain, getting the guidelines. We all will log out, give the test, and at a particular time it will be informed to you all to log in again, so that if anyone has any difficulty and other things, it can be resolved. But I request everyone meanwhile, uh, the configurations, it is not like, see, the normal laptop desktop configuration, whatever it is the same. Now, if you are connected in the meeting, the same speed is required. Your mic is on. You are able to use your microphone, cameras, and everything. Same it needs. Only the version of the Chrome, you need to just check it. And even the speed, we have given a link where you can check. So all these things, you please make ready by the time, so that it is easy for you all to give the demo quiz in the afternoon. And you can get in touch with our IT person in case of any difficulty.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks. I'll
Yeah.
do that.
Thank you so
Thank
much. Yeah. Any other queries?
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Can we have some little bit more time, if possible?
What, ma'am? Some of?
Like 40 minutes, like 40 questions, 40 minutes, no?
Mm-hmm.
So is it possible for to get some couple of minutes extra, if possible, at your
Ma'am,
end?
actually, we are being instructed from the GAD TLC only to give that time limit. Even the number of questions and the time limit is given by them. However, I will ask the query to them, and no doubt whatever your queries are, na ma'am, we are asking them.
Fine.
And based on that,
No
we are
issues.
able to answer, like as ma'am asked yesterday, for giving you all more time for the quiz, like this weekend and next weekend. We could understand some might be going on vacation, maybe after this weekend or next week. So we discussed with them, and that flexibility, they were kind enough to open the test this weekend as well as next weekend. Your this query also, ma'am, I will discuss with them, and if possible by 3 p.m. when we are meeting, if I get the answer from them, I will address it, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Yeah.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much, Nikita, ma'am.
My
Actually,
pleasure,
I
ma'am.
was also about to say the same because,
Yes.
ma'am, I was just having a fear that I may not be able to complete my paper. at least I should say all 40 questions if I need a time for thinking as well. Thank you so much for
So,
taking our
ma'am, they
query.
said me 1 minute means it's not a solving based. It is just to read and answer and tick. So
Yeah,
they
give
said
MCQ.
1 minute is okay for the same. That then to ma'am, I will ask them and I'll get back to you all by 3 if they, give the reply to my question.
Thank you so much.
Now
ma'am.
things
I have
My
things may
pleasure.
depend upon the level of questions also. It is LO question, IO or HO. The order of the
Okay.
questions.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
And our preparation, of course.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I'll definitely ask.
Thank
And
you so much.
Binita ma'am, please give us some hands-on training. Ma'am, ICT tools, one of the hands-on was given yesterday on Render Forest as well as on Padlet yesterday by Dr. Smita. And however, tomorrow we have a session by Dr. D. Lakshmi on ICT tools. So definitely, ma'am, more ICT tools hands-on you will be getting in tomorrow's session, which is our last day of our 6 days journey.
Ma'am, today's test session will be for how long?
Ma'am, just 5-10 minutes. It's a demo
Okay.
so that
Okay.
you get familiar with the platform, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Ma'am, 3 o'clock will get connected. Again, I will give certain instructions and followed by like at around 3:45, we will all get disconnected and test for just 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. We will enable. You all can give. And again at 4 o'clock, we'll get connected in the same platform. So if any queries or any issues any participants have, faced during giving the test, it can be resolved. And after that, ma'am, you all are free to prepare for your test, for your assignments and projects.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure, ma'am.
Dr. Podar, Darshan
Yes,
here.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I was just going through the mail. I couldn't find the contact details of the
Sir, I'll
IT.
just tell. Just a minute. I'll tell you in which point it is. Sir, it is in the system configuration in third point, sir. In the mail. In system
Actually, no,
configuration in the third point. My IT person's number, Mr. Prakash
I
Lalpal.
missed it. I missed it. Sorry.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
sorry to bother you.
No,
Thank you.
not
Thank you for
not
the
an issue, sir. Yes, sir. You can get in touch with him. He will help you out, sir, for the test.
Sure.
And others also, we
you.
request, please click on that. And there is a video also small, which is 1 minute 57 seconds. You can go through it. And once you go through that video, you click on got it. It will take you to a page where it will ask to share a window or a desktop or a screen. Click on entire screen first, then come to that box, click on it. The share tab gets enabled. Click on it. It will take you to the page. It's a Google form. Same how we give the any Google form, like how you all are filling the feedback. Same kind of a Google form. You will see a timer at the side. You have to fill your details like your name and email ID and all. Give the test. Okay. So with
And the
this
link,
note, yes,
the
yes, ma'am.
link for the
Ma'am,
test is
it's
the
possible
same,
to
na?
appear for quiz.
Yes,
link for
sorry. Farida
sorry.
ma'am, just a minute, Farida ma'am. Yes,
Yeah.
Swati ma'am.
Ma'am, is it possible to give this quiz from mobile also, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Same, but the updation configuration is required. What we have mentioned in the mail for your cell
Okay.
also. So you can try demo with your cell as well as
Fine.
with the desktop laptop. That link, blog link which we have given, you can try with both. So you will
Okay.
understand whether at both the place it works or not.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, Farida ma'am.
Okay, the link that you have shared earlier is the same what you have sent even now, on which we
Yes.
need to
No, ma'am, it is
test
the
today.
ma'am, that is the blog. When you say blog.autoproctor, it is the software which is giving you to practice the test. We
Okay.
will be sending you all the mail for the demo quiz, how it will come to you on the day, that demo quiz link, which
No, no,
we
no,
will be
no.
sharing.
Today,
Huh.
today.
Yes, ma'am. Today only The demo quiz link we will be sharing on your registered email ID maybe at around 2:30.
Okay.
So this is, ma'am, it's written below link for practice to check system compatibility with the auto proctoring.
Fine.
Right? And you can see, ma'am, it's blog.autoproctor means it is given by the auto proctoring company. When you see our link, it will have somewhere the name or I mean something else it would be. Our college name, you will see it will come so that you will get a feel like it's a difference. And if we will write, it's a demo quiz like that.
Fine.
Right, ma'am?
Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure, ma'am. So that demo quiz link mail will come to you all at around 2:30 today, which you need to click and appear for the test.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Fine. Any other queries? So can we take a break and get